Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tim Dillon Show. Hope all of you are enjoying your summer. We have 1 month left, and then it will be over, and then it ends, and then you are back into the hellish grind. Many of you are still there right now, actually. I don't know why I'm even saying that. Many of you are still in that hellish grind. Really, truly, many of you are there, and this summer means nothing. The summer means nothing to most people. Unless the summer meant nothing to me for many years until I had a little bit of money. And the summer means a lot when you're a kid and then nothing again until you have $1. It's true. When you're young, it's like summer matters. Great. I'm out of school. It's a beautiful day. I'm going to the beach. And then summer just becomes hellish and hot. And then if you don't have the resources to enjoy it and you don't live by a body of water, and the body of water you live by is, it's like, it's not swimmable. Because a lot of people live by a body of water. It's like a stagnant pond with brain-eating amoeba. And it's like the dumping ground of the local chemical company. So summer then it just becomes hot. I remember for years, summer was just unbearably hot and miserable, and you would sit in your car and you would stick to the leather. And I remember one summer many years ago, Burger King came out with a bacon sundae. Get that up. There was a bacon sundae, and it wasn't good. And it came out, and they had it one year during the summer, and it was a sundae with the bacon on it. Vanilla soft serve hot fudge caramel bacon crumbles and a full strip of bacon. Released in June 2012 for $2.49. The 510-calorie treat was part of the summer barbecue promotional menu before being quickly discontinued. And it was 2012 and it was hot, and they gave you the bacon sundae. It was a sundae with a full strip of bacon on it. You'd eat it in your car. And that's, now this summer, there's a lot of rage bait, meaning like, places like Nantucket or out in the Hamptons, the amount of money that it costs to be involved to any degree in those places is offensive to people. And the new thing is the food markets. Like, everybody's obsessed with these food markets that have like a $400 melon, or, in California, Erewhon had a $19 strawberry. These are stupid things that are designed to get publicity and elicit rage from people. I get it. People are like, hey, I can't fill in the blank, feed my kid, and somebody's having one strawberry for $19. And none of these things are real. Like, they are real, they exist, but they're kind of designed to get publicity, to make people mad, and then these things go viral, and then people find out about these places. Yeah, melon, a musk melon selling at the Hamptons grocery store for $400. And I guess it's like some Japanese melon, and my friend had it, actually. I had a bite of it. It's whatever. It's a fucking melon. Melons suck. And there's a backlash, an understandable backlash against this type of consumption. They call it conspicuous consumption. People talking about the status of going to this grocery store and spending this amount of money on lobster salad and da-da-da-da-da. And that's why I feel like the vibes in New York City are a lot better than the vibes out east on Long Island, because there's been a turn. Mamdani is the mayor. He's very popular. The young folks are going to the left, and they look at the Hamptons and they kind of go, ugh, yuck. And to their credit, and to give credit where credit is due, the silliness of people running around all these high-end grocery stores trying to best each other. The lines that, how long the line is to get something, and really overpriced, mediocre shit, which is what a lot of it is. And the status of saying you did it, and that influencer culture of showing people you did it. It is a direct contradiction to the way people behaved with money for many, many years in this country, which is they tried to chill. They tried to be a little quiet about having some money. Now these people are, they're basically going, cut off my head. They're tempting you. They're going, cut off my head. I want my head cut off. I'm taking caviar and I'm putting it on a potato chip and then I'm eating it through my ass. Not even my mouth. I have ass. There's food for my ass. And they're tempting you. They're going, come and lob my head off and watch it roll down the street like a bowling ball. Chill it out. Calm it down. People are angry out there. They're hot under the collar. Understandably so. Stop advertising how much you spend on bullshit. And the influencer culture, which infects everything, it's like a disease with no treatment, really. The only way to treat it is to line them up and kill them. And I'm not for that. But, Nantucket just banned all these influencers because they go into the restaurant, they start TikToking, they start doing all this. And the people go, hey, man, you're ruining the experience of people. We don't want you in here. We don't want you behaving like this. And what are you going to do? So you could ban them, or you can line them up and kill them to make a point. But a lot of these businesses are depending on these people that run in there with the phone and go, now I'll post every now and then a few photos from a restaurant. I go, this is a good restaurant. I think that's a nice thing to do. I don't have I have a million followers, whatever, but it's like, that's not my job. My friend has a restaurant in Sag Harbor. It's very good. I put it on Instagram. I go here. It's good. But this is not my job day in and day out, going and reviewing places and sticking a phone in the face of the people that work there, some poor waiter or waitress who's doing their job, and then you're sticking a phone in their face going, tell me what's going on. People have had enough of this. Yeah, our influencers barred from this Nantucket shop. The store owner said no influencer sign was meant to be tongue-in-cheek, and it spurred a heated debate. Here's what people are getting sick of. They're getting sick of this constant need, the way people behave now. When people have a phone in their hand, it's like they have the license to behave like a monster. They can run in the kitchen. They can start filming people in the restaurant without their consent. They can start doing this weird thing where they start lighting the food at the table and building a whole production studio at the table to light a dish of scallops. Like, this is a absurd behavior. It's obscene. And then this Faustian bargain was like, well, the restaurant gets business from these people that invade the restaurant with their antics. But a lot of people are going, hey, man, this is like not cool. Whatever you're doing, whatever your job is, and I'm not trying to hate on the way people make a living, but if your job involves ruining people's experience and their night, and you're running around with your phone and you're acting like a monster, people have the right to say, hey, you know what we don't want in here? People who are acting like monsters. Is that okay? Can you for a minute consider that you're in an establishment with other people? Can you for a minute consider that there's other people in the grocery store where you're deciding to film your video? Can you for 1 second consider there's a man cheating on his wife at the table next to you? And he's having sex with someone, and he enjoys her more than his wife. He's not divorcing his wife because obviously he would get taken to the cleaners. He's in the wrong, and he doesn't want to lose all of his money. He just wants to have a quiet night with his 25-year-old secretary, and you're there reviewing the fucking risotto, and he's about to get fucked. His life's about to fall apart because you cannot keep your camera off people. People's behavior in public right now is out of control. There's no way to justify it. It is a culture where everybody is behaving. Yeah, this was many years, this was a while ago. Or not that long ago, actually. Law partner caught canoodling with younger associate in Central Park could lose millions as lucrative offer reneged. People, so here's what I'm telling you is coming. Here's what's coming. Do you want to know what the new luxury item in our country is going to be? It's not going to be a melon. It's not going to be lobster salad, which, whatever. It's like, fine. Lobster salad's good, but enough already. Cut it out. You're telling people, come cut off my head and rape my dead body. That's not nice. Do you want people taking turns on your dead body after they've lobbed off your head? No. Here's a new luxury item in the country, privacy. Privacy is going to be the new luxury item in America. People are going to spend all their money to get away from the sea of cameras and people that are foaming at the mouth, running around, filming people without their consent, running into businesses, making content in these businesses day in and day out. And listen, I've done comedy sketches. I've done Man on the Street, all that stuff. I'm not saying that it shouldn't be able to happen. But this new thing where people day in and day out, every moment of the day, are filming people and filming in places and destroying everybody else's experience, it is gross. And they're capturing people on camera in private situations. So this is what it's going to be. It's going to be, people are going to just want and pay for privacy. So these no phones clubs that are all over the place now, these private clubs where people go, you can't bring in your phone. And these there's going to be no phone restaurants. I'm telling you, it's coming. This is all going to happen. They're going to be like, no filming in the grocery store. Leave us alone. Because just the trade-off is like, well, don't you want publicity for your business? Yes and no. If we got to get it like this, I don't know if we want it. If this is how we're going to get publicity, I don't know if we want it because, the people that are here are disturbed and they don't want to be here anymore. They don't want to be here anymore because of the behavior. And there's not only this group of influencers that have a lot of money doing this, there are people that are now trying to become them. So it's an endless sea of people that take their phones out and start broadcasting to the world what they are doing, where they are, what they are consuming, why or why not. I wait until I am done before I trash a place. I come here and I trash it. And yes, I do it publicly and people listen to it, but I don't trash it while I'm there. I come here after I've had a meal that I've hated, or I've met with someone I disliked, or I had an experience that I found off-putting, and then I come here and I trash it artfully for a living. But I don't do it while I'm there. Have a little decency, for Christ. Have some sense. So what's going to happen? The married law partner caught in a steamy smooch fest with a much younger associate in Central Park could lose tens of millions of dollars after a lucrative job offer was reportedly rescinded. Hotshot attorney Nathaniel Cullerton, 45, likely makes at least $4 million as a partner at the white shoe law firm Watchell, Lipton, Rosen, and Katz. He was placed on leave amid an investigation into the viral canoodling clip. Now, by the way, the guy wasn't defrauding anyone. He wasn't acting inappropriately at work. he was not. He was making out with someone in Central Park or a park. Was it Central Park?
I think it was.
Yeah. So what? It was legal. So what? Oh, it was immoral. He has a wife. Who gives a fuck? What business is it of yours? I don't understand. So this guy's put on leave from his job.
Get a room.
Some TikToker. So this is the thing now, man. People are going to start getting killed. TikTokers are going to start getting killed. People are going to start killing people that are filming them without their consent. The new luxury item in the country is privacy. Finding people behaving badly, filming people that have had a little bit to drink, filming people that are making out, filming people that are doing all this stuff is going to have a real negative impact on their life. And people are just going to create environments where they can go where they know they're not being filmed and their activities are not being uploaded to the world. And that's completely reasonable, by the way. It's completely reasonable. And the backlash and the reason, because listen, the Hamptons, I never went as a kid. My parents, we grew up on a very different part of Long Island. You've all heard many of the stories where I grew up. None of it had to do with the Hamptons. But the school taxes in the Hamptons are pretty low. There are no schools, summer community. For me, it's a very pretty area. The food's decent. I know Long Island. I have a lot of friends and family that live in New York. I can get into New York City and do shows and then go out. That's why I lived there. It was never aspirational. I was never like, I need to live there. I barely participated in what goes on out there. I go to a few dinners a year. I went to one last night. Very sweet people, very nice, very liberal. You know, you're sitting in their $100 million house. They're very liberal. They're, you know, everyone's racist. Don't you think everyone's racist? Everyone's so racist. And you're like, all right. Enough. You're in a house that's 40,000 square feet or whatever, 30,000, something crazy. And they're lovely people, and I love them, and it's very sweet to invite me and order food from the local Mexican restaurant and put it out. That was very sweet. Perhaps I'd imagined some other type of cuisine, a chef or whatever. It doesn't matter because I get it. It's me, and they're like, he'll be fine. Here's some guacamole pig, enough. And then they ask you why America's so racist or whatever. I don't know, you know. So they're lovely people, a little out of touch, Nice kids, nice people. One of the kids goes, yo, finance is like, I've realized it's, he doesn't talk like that, but I'm disguising his. But he's like, it's a lot of nepotism. Finance is like a lot of nepotism. It's like a big club of people that like know each other and invest in each other. I'm like, right, interesting. You've found that out now, have you? But they're sweet people and they're very nice. You know what I mean? And I'm very grateful to them. So I do a few of those things a year, very few, because it's not, you become a pet for people. The thing about the Hamptons is you're a pet. You become like a pet. You become like a thing they get at the market. It's like you're a comedian and some political people. So it's like they buy you. You're like next to the melon. So there's the melon for $400, and then you're much cheaper. You're Mexican food, a takeout that they throw on a thing, and they pick you up, and then you're like a little toy, a labubu, and you come in for the evening, and they just like kind of pepper you with questions, and they go, so do you think it'll be JD Vance or Marco Rubio? And it's fine. I do that a few times a year. I do that, and I have some young friends out there that I will hang out with occasionally. And so, but the reason that people are turning on that area and the reason people hate it and the reason that the vibes in New York have been a lot better, especially since the Knicks won, is because people are just tired of the grotesque display of vulgarity. And that's usually, for many years, the Hamptons was like more lo-fi, more chill, more relaxed. People did not behave like that. People drove old, beat-up cars. You went to the beach. It was a pretty area. And the way that it's become Los Angeles or Miami and the disgusting culture out there has made people turn on it. And you should not like it. It shouldn't be an aspirational thing in the sense, listen, it's a beautiful place to live. I like where I live, for sure. But it's so expensive. It's so silly. There's a childish quality to what's happening, which is like people going to grocery stores. You know, the thing about other places, say what you want about the Cape or Martha's Vineyard or whatever. People are sailing and they're doing things. You go to the Kennedy compound, they're sailing. Yeah, sure. Are they cursed? Sure. Whatever. You know, do they die all the time? Yeah. But they're doing things that are masculine things. They're sailing and they're swimming and they're out there and doing that. And the Hamptons is kind of, that's not really the vibe. It's just a bunch of people like sitting in a humid backyard complaining, and which I fit into. It's fine, but people are turning on it, and there's an anger, and it's justifiable. And part of it is because people, you know, really the behavior of people is making these things less desirable. You go, I don't want to be around people. I hate to say it. I love gusto. When you run a small business, you don't have to just do the job. You're also hiring the manager, the payroll department, and the benefits team, usually all before lunch. Gusto takes a few of those off your plate. Gusto is an online payroll and benefit software built for small businesses. It's an all-in-one, remote-friendly, incredibly easy to use, so you can pay, hire, onboard, and support your team from anywhere. Automatic payroll, tax filing, simple direct deposits, health benefits, commuter benefits. Try Gusto today at gusto.com/Dillon and get 3 months free. So important when you're running a business to have that 90-day free period. 3 months of free payroll, gusto.com/Dillon. Gusto.com/Dillon. I'm telling you right now, if you run a small business, this software is essential. Ultra pouches are becoming my new favorite thing. If you ever woken up and immediately needed a nicotine pouch and or a cup of coffee to feel like a human, how many pouches, cups of coffee, and or energy drinks do you need per day to stop yourself from crashing or even feeling nicotine withdrawal? First off, these pouches are completely nicotine-free and caffeine-free, and you're probably thinking, if they don't have nicotine and caffeine, what exactly is in them? Great question, okay? They're plant-powered pouches designed to sharpen your mind. Affinity PX, a cleaner, smoother energy boost. L-theanine, an amino acid promoting calm energy. Alpha GPC, a nootropic for enhanced mental processing, and vitamin B6 and B12 for balanced energy and mood. And if you're fasting or on a diet, Ultra pouches actually help quiet cravings and suppress appetite, keeping you locked in to achieve your goals. Nicotine pouches and caffeine spike your resting heart rate at night, which kills your body and brain's ability to recover. Gay! Ultra pouches have a shorter half-life than caffeine, so they won't disrupt your sleep. Yeah, Ultra is the ultimate guilt-free pouch. Get them in Cool Mint, Wintergreen, Tropical, Watermelon, Blue Raz. Use code Tim Dillon to get 15% off. TakeUltra.com. Go to TakeUltra.com and use promo code TIMDILLON to get 15% off. Do it now. Ultra is the ultimate guilt-free pouch, delivering instant focus and mental clarity without nicotine or caffeine. After you purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them our show sent you. The recluse, by the way, is now being proven right. The hermit, the recluse, the person who like walls themselves off from everyone, I hate to say it, we all used to look at those people and go, there's something wrong with them. No, no, no. There might be something wrong with us. Because how many times do you leave your house and you're sitting somewhere, or you're out, you're walking, you're doing whatever, and you go, I don't need to be here. This was a mistake. This was a mistake. You see someone filming a pork chop and you go, I don't need to be here. I'd rather be home. And the tech people love that. And it's all a big doom loop, because the tech people give you the technology to behave like a monster out in public, which forces people to go, I don't want to be in public. And then those people go home, and then the tech people have the technology for them to just be at home. So this is what's coming. What's coming is we're going to live in a world where people are voluntarily taking themselves out of society, walling themselves off in whatever place they can be, and not going out as much, and they're going to be hermits, and it's going to be justified because someone's going to film them making out with someone in Central Park, and they're going to lose their job. Or you're just going to be in some grocery store, and you know, when you saw someone talking to themselves years ago, it meant they were a schizophrenic, and you just walked the other way. And in the downtown of many of our American cities, that's still the case. You see someone talking to themselves loudly, you go, okay, I'll walk down another block, or I'll just note that they're a schizophrenic. Now it is commonplace for someone to be speaking to their phone in a place, they're talking to themselves, they're in an aisle of a grocery store, and they're holding up something, and they're going, you got to get these chips. These are the best. And you go, you know, what is this? What is this? What's happening here? And this is people's jobs. That's their job. So, but their job involves ruining the experience of being in public for other people. That's their job. They go, wherever I go, I try to destroy it. I ruin it. That's what I do. And then I put it on the internet, and then the worst people in the world go, I need this thing. I need it. I must go to it. Hey, who am I? I'm the worst person in the world. Let me call a friend of mine. Hi, are you a stupid cunt? You know it. What are you doing? I'm worst person in the world, and you're a stupid cunt. Do you want to go to and try to get the thing we just saw? Well, only if there's going to be a lot of worse people in the world there and stupid cunts. Oh, it'll all be the worst people in the world and stupid cunts. Well, it sounds good to me. That's what's happening. You're attracting this element of people that is you could just see them. You could feel them. They're like a pulsating energy. They want to be near the thing. These are the people that need to be caged. Okay? They're the people that want to be near the thing they saw. I need that thing I saw. You're supposed to get over this when you're 17. That's why the lines outside of these frozen yogurt places in New York are insane, because younger people go, I need the thing I just saw. And they get on a line and they wait for an hour to get frozen yogurt. And it's whatever. It's mediocre frozen. Who gives a fuck? Frozen yogurt with olive oil on it? What do we do? Fine. But they wait for an hour. But if you don't outgrow that, if your life doesn't acquire more depth as you get older, it's a sad thing. If you still need to be the person who needs to get the thing they just saw, I need to be near the thing. I need to be near it. I need to tell people I'm near the thing. I'm alive and my life has value. Don't you know? Don't you know my life has value? I'm near the thing. And that's the type of, we're creating that world. Those are the people that influencers are. These are the people that stand in line for 7 months to get a pancake. These are the people that do whatever. And I'm a big fan of restaurants, and I plug restaurants all the time. I'll take a photo of a food and I'll go, this place rocks. You know what I mean? But that's where it ends. That's where it ends. Quick photo, doesn't disturb anybody, and I don't do it a lot. But that's where it ends. You don't stop making a documentary about French toast. It's not right. And it drives the culture in this really grotesque direction where every single thing is about marketing. That's the thing. I have no beef with Taylor Swift, but you know what? A lot of Taylor Swift, she's talented. Yeah, whatever. She's fine. She's great. What do you want from me? What was very interesting is her fans would tell me, they'd be like, she's so good at marketing. It was like, this has become such a part of our culture now. Everything's about marketing. Everything's some version of a scam. And people know they're being scammed and they like it and they just admire the scam. There's no genuine something being good. It's something that's shoved down your throat, and you will crave that, and you will admire the techniques they used in which to shove said product or experience down your throat. And that's what I was amazed when they were talking about Taylor Swift. They go, she's such a good marketer. She's such a good businesswoman. And that was the way that people described her. I thought that was strange. I'm like, what about the music? And they were like, yeah, that's great. We love that. But more importantly, she was a good marketer and a good businesswoman. And that's just the era that we're in. So there is a backlash against that culture. It's gotten to a point now where I think people are now withdrawing, and they're right. I'm against withdrawing. I think you should be out there with people. I think you should be integrated into the world. I think you should talk to people you disagree with and meet different people and meet different cultures. I'm all for that. But now I understand why people are withdrawing from the world. And they go, I don't want to be out if people are going to act like this. I don't want to be out if everything costs so much money for the sake of it. The point is that it's overpriced. The point is that you're offended. The point is that it's exclusionary. It's not, it has no bearing on reality. It's not based on value. It's just completely rage bait and anger. And it's built on this idea that the more attention you get, the better it is, no matter what. And I think a lot of people just say to themselves, I don't want to be around the people that need to be near the thing. I don't want to be around those people. They're exhausting. The people that cannot live if they are not by the thing. They are not near the thing that's happening that they saw on the internet that they have to be a part of. I need to be a part of it. And the privacy thing is real. And this poor fuck, or whatever, not poor fuck, he's a rich lawyer, whatever. But here's the thing. Now, everyone's like, fuck this guy. He's a lawyer, whatever. He's rich. He's hooking up with a younger girl. Whatever reason people have decided to hate him, I'm sure. But he didn't do anything wrong at work. From what I know, he's put on administrative leave because some TikTok goes viral. And I'm telling you, privacy will become the new luxury item in society. And you're going to pay not only to be outside of the public who's just trying to film everything everybody does for their own content, for their own survival, for their own living. And then you're also going to try to opt out of surveillance because we're going to be living in an area where flock cameras are the thing. And, you know, the surveillance is going to get increasingly integrated into your daily life. Another thing they said at the party, which is funny, sweet people about Fauci. They're like, let's just move on from Fauci. But here's the thing, Chilling Map shows where more than 117,000 surveillance cameras are hiding in the U.S. Is your hometown being watched? Everybody's going to be on the grid in a big way, and it's coming. And you're going to do. So I'm here to tell you right now, if you withdraw from society and become a hermit, not only do I not judge you, I may join you. I think you are correct. Because of the way people are behaving, saying no, I'm not going out. I don't want to be out. I don't want to spend the money. Nothing's as good as it's sold to me. Nothing feels great. I go out. Traffic to places is terrible now. Just stay in your house. The oceans are gross. They are poisoned. They have bacteria. They have sewage. The oceans are over. By the way, hashtag oceans are over party. I want you to get up this kid saving this other kid because I want to comment about this in Laguna Beach. But you are right to not leave your home. You are correct. I'm telling you. And I wouldn't have said that a while ago. But now I believe that. I believe that there's a real argument for why you should not leave your house. So now here's a lifeguard, a young lifeguard, and he saved this kid, and he's being invited to the White House because, you know, whatever, he saved the kid. Now, by the way, I was a lifeguard for many years, never invited to the White House, never really saved anyone. No one needed to be saved. I worked at a pool. It was not the beach. I worked at the beach for a little bit, very briefly before the end. And, you know, here's the thing. Listen, I respect what the kid did, but he's a lifeguard. He's doing his job, and I'm a little sick of people getting a pat on the back for doing their job, quite frankly. I don't care that he's 16, and I don't care that he saved anyone's life. He's doing a job, and he did it well, and I think we're sending the wrong message to people when they do their job that we need to make a big fucking deal about it. But let's watch it.
This is a very young lifeguard, and
Shut
if you
up.
haven't seen this video, it is not a stretch to say that this was a dramatic rescue, considering especially that the lifeguard who is fighting for that kid's life is just 16 years old himself. Now, this is at Seabright Beach in Santa Cruz over the weekend. The man who took this video says the lifeguard rushed into the water when a young boy, about 10, was overwhelmed by wave after...
Where are the other lifeguards? Keep going.
just to hold on to the boy and tries to drag him to shore while also getting pummeled by the waves himself. Other swimmers try to help while another lifeguard makes his way to the two. Scott Vander Dusen, the witness who got this video, says conditions changed shockingly fast.
The waves were
So this guy was just filming two people die, by the way. He should be at the White House. Trump is more aligned with this guy's values than the kid who saved the other kid. So this guy is filming these two children die, the one lifeguard saving this kid. And this guy, Scott Vander Dusen, is standing there on a beach filming it and trying not to help. That is the American way. You, sir, should be brought to the White House. You did the more important thing. You weren't the quote-unquote hero, but you documented here. And by the way, if they didn't survive, he would have filmed the death. Because that's what he's out there doing. He's out there just filming shit. He's got the phone out, and he's filming it. That lifeguard and the kid, it is dramatic. They could have easily been swept out to shore, could have went bad. And does this guy run to the thing to help him? No. He does the more important thing. He stands on the beach and films them. And he goes, yep, they may die. They may die. Let's see this. They may die. It's either going to be a real heroic situation or they might die. But either way, I've got a great vantage point of which to film this. Let's see what this bum says.
Waves were really, I wouldn't say they were tranquil, but they were what you would expect in normal cadence and normal intensity. And then that just changed. And it changed in a heartbeat. And it caught a lot of people off guard. Unfortunately, this young man was overwhelmed.
Not you.
And swept out.
You weren't caught off guard. You were filming it. He goes, this man was overwhelmed, and the only thing I could do is take out my phone. The only thing I could think to do in that overwhelming time was to take out my phone and film this child die. That's all I could think of. Here, keep going. People like this fascinate me.
Yeah, I'm glad it ended the way that it did. I'm certain that if the lifeguards weren't there, he wouldn't have gone home that night.
Right. And you go, yeah, it's just what it is. I would have filmed to death. It would have been a snuff film. I'm just going to filming snuff films on the beach. I'm Scott Vander Dusen. I'm out here filming people die on the beach. If I see someone dying on the beach, I get the phone right out. Now, by the way, it's fine. You know, all's well that ends well, right? But the lifeguard was doing his job. The guy that took out the camera is actually providing the better service, because we would not have known about any of this, I guess, if we didn't have him filming. So just decide who in the group is going to try to be the hero and who's going to film it. Easy. It just when you're out with your boys or your gals, when you're out in town, just go. If something pops off, who's going to film this? Who's going to run into the 9/11, the burning building, and who's going to film it? Who's who here? Let's get to the core of who everybody is immediately and decide who's going to film. I'm going to do neither, but I'm not running into the building. I'm not going to film it. I need to just observe it so I can talk about it later. That's my job. That's my skill set. I'm going to do a point-by-point breakdown of it, and that's going to matter because history matters, and we need to know the things that happen. Someone will film it, and then someone will run in and try to save the person. But I can't give my life, and then someone else I know has to then talk about what happened. It won't work. We all have to cater to our skill set. My skill set is that I stand back. Someone films it. Someone tries to intervene. I stand back and I'll describe it. A couple days later, when I've had the time to really put it in perspective, I'll go out there and describe it. These beef sticks at Meriwether Farms, I'm telling you right now, they will convert you from a doubter into a believer. If you need a high-protein snack, it is the best thing you can put in your body. Meriwether Farms is the best. They are made with natural beef raised without antibiotics or added hormone. The beef sticks are bold, clean, satisfying, and rooted in American tradition. 3 flavors, original jalapeno and the zero sugar keto, with more exciting flavors on the way. The beef sticks do not require refrigeration, so they're perfect for travel, taking them anywhere, to the gym, the boat, traveling, wherever life takes you. No foreign beef, no pink slime, no blended meats, no weird additives. Our beef sticks are truly the best on the market when it comes to quality, flavor, and trustworthiness. Visit Meriwether Farms and use code TIM for 20% off your first order. That's Meriwether Farms. Use code TIM for 20% off your first order. I love Superpower. It feels like my superpower, actually, is what it does, okay? It is something that I have been really excited about. It's a one simple blood draw that gives you information on over 100 of your blood biomarkers. Your annual physical checks 10 and 15 for comparison. The testing gives you a much deeper understanding of your body across 17 core systems, including heart. When you have this kind of information about your body, you have more control over your health, from disease prevention to finally fixing that annoying brain fog, to taking your gym performance to the next level. Supplement recommendations and prescription suggestions can be directly bought through Superpower, so you don't have to go anywhere else. This gives you the technology you need and integrates your past medical history, old labs, and incorporates your family history, cancer, other hereditary risk into protocol recommendation. It gives you access to high-end concierge-level care at the best price on the market. Stop reacting to health problems. Start proactively improving your health based on real, personalized data. In the future, we're going to laugh at how our healthcare is all reactive instead of proactive. Superpower is here to make proactive health a reality and accessible to anyone. Take control of your health with Superpower. For a limited time, our listeners get $20 off to unlock their new health intelligence. Head over to superpower.com, use code TIM for $20 off $199 Superpower membership. And after you sign up, they'll ask how you heard about Superpower. Tell them the Tim Dillon Show sent you. Lindsey Graham, friend of the show, was laid to rest earlier in the week, and now Miriam Adelson pays tribute to Lindsey Graham and tells the story of taking him to Israel as a freshman congressman. Can you imagine? We're going to play this for you. But can you imagine Lindsey Graham's first trip to Israel as a freshman congressman? How naughty it was. Can you imagine the fun that man had? He spent his entire life trying to recapture the fun of freshman congressman week in Israel, sponsored by Miriam Adelson. Well, you could just do anything you want in Israel. He probably had so much fun, and good for him. I don't have a problem with that. It's all the killing he did after that I don't love. But let's listen to Miriam Adelson, another friend of the show, lovely woman, who is speaking about Lindsey Graham, she purchased him many years ago and brought him to Israel, and probably it's been a good investment. I'm sure she's unhappy that he's no longer with us, but she got a lot of years out of Lindsey Graham. She bought him young, and she got a lot of years out of him. And that's all you can ask for, really, is he was durable. I'm sure she wanted a few more. But here it is, Miriam Adelson talking about Lindsey Graham, who she bought many, many years ago and had in her collection for a long time, and sadly laid him to rest recently. Here she is, Dr. Miriam Adelson.
We were very close friends of Lindsey. Sheldon, we met him in 1990, approximately. There was a mission of AIPAC, and we took freshman congressmen, Republican, to Israel.
Here's the thing. Stop it for a minute. Here's the thing about supervillains. They're very likable. This is the thing about liberals. They're not likable, no matter how hard they try. They just can't. Leftists can be likable, but the shit libs, they're just so hard. It is very difficult. They are condescending. They're patronizing. There's something about a supervillain. Like, I'm against Miriam Adelson's aims. I don't like the things she does. Obviously, that's obvious. But there's just something about her. If you were to have a lunch or a dinner with her, she'd be so much more fun than like a gender studies professor at Columbia. Like Miriam Adelson would just be so much fun because she is a supervillain and she likes it. She likes it. She actually enjoys her life and she enjoys it. She likes it. This doesn't feel like, this feels like a labor of love. Buying U.S. politicians and getting them to support whatever Israel wants to do, it feels like a labor of love with her. Again, I don't think it's particularly good for Israel, for America, for anyone, but there's just something about her personally. It's infectious. She has a kind of an infectious passion. Let's keep listening to her.
So we and Sheldon and me and another 2 partners of Sheldon paid for the trip, donated it to APAC educational group, something like that.
Yeah, something, whatever.
And then we met Lindsey.
Yes.
And I want to tell you, I, as a physician,
yes,
I love to see the brain.
Interesting.
And the eyes are our brain.
Yes.
And they were so pure and blue.
Yes.
And I mean, you
and
could
thinking
see
about peepees.
what he's
penises.
thinking about.
He was thinking about penises.
So honest, with integrity.
Yes, integrity and honest. That's the way I would describe
him. With him. And the relationship continued for years, as was mentioned it.
Yes.
I talked to
sent a dominatrix to his home, and we met Lindsey, and I look in his eyes, I go, you want to be dominated by a man, yes? And we send the dominatrix, me and Sheldon, we pay for it, donate the dominatrix to Lindsey, to his home, to come to see him. And the dominatrix, of course, dress like a regular person when they knock on the door, I'm deliver the pizza, whatnot. I'm here for the FedEx. I have package. And then the dominatrix gets out and they tie Lindsey up and they make him go on fours like dog. And it's amazing. And we donate that to Lindsey. We donate dominatrix to Lindsey.
I talked today with his secretary, Betty. And I asked her, tell me more about the relationship. She was telling me every day, there was not a day that Sheldon talked with Lindsey.
Oh.
They were talked about Israel.
Yes.
Lindsey gave him advice. Sheldon gave him advice.
What else? Did they talk about anything else?
They had fun.
They talk about Israel every day. And, they would talk about many things like Israel and also... but that was mainly it. But it's every day, it's beautiful friendship they have to.
Oh, that's the end of it.
That's it. Well, Miriam Adelson, listen, it's a labor of love. It's a labor of love. I want to watch because I want to watch this storming of a beach in Spain. And I only recently became aware of this, but these are migrants, and apparently some people are suggesting insane footage from the Moroccan border with Spain. Thousands of migrants are gathering at the border. This is exactly what Spanish Prime Minister Sanchez was aiming for. So there are people that are accusing this of being orchestrated to a degree. I know nothing about this, by the way, so I'm not going to comment on any of whether that's happening. I do know migration is the biggest issue in Europe, and I do know that migration is largely driven by foreign policy decisions made by the United States and Western powers. Not all migration, but a lot of the destabilization of these countries was because we toppled governments and inspired coups and the resulting civil wars and displacement sent a lot of people flooding through Europe. However, there's other issues, climate and stuff like that causes people to leave their place of residence, their homes, and to seek shelter in a country with more infrastructure and more money. And some of those people, I'm sure, are lovely, and some of them are not. And sorting that out's not easy, but it is the biggest issue in the world, for sure. Spanish politicians, commentators accuse Israel of stirring chaos over this migration crisis, Israeli diplomat Danny Danon and Spanish Transport Minister Oscar Puente exchanged barbs over, how do you pronounce it? Ceuta?
Yeah, I think it's Ceuta.
Exchanged barbs over Ceuta migration claims, while Spanish commentators accuse Israel of seeking revenge against Madrid over its Gaza policy. Diplomatic tensions between Spain and Israel over the Gaza war have increasingly spilled onto social media, where the migration crisis in Spain's North African enclave of Ceuta emerging as the latest flashpoint after an exchange of barbs between the Israeli UN ambassador and Spanish transport minister, Oscar Puente. Danon accused Spain of reportedly criticizing Israel while declaring a state of emergency in Ceuta over a migration crisis. Spain, which never misses an opportunity to lecture Israel, has declared a state of emergency in Ceuta following the crisis over its immigration policy. So are people saying that Israel somehow got these people into boats?
I think that's what they're saying, yeah.
They were just like, here are the boats, go over there? Listen, I mean, I don't know what went on, but it does seem like a lot of people are just getting in boats. I don't know if it's Israel. But hold on, let's see this, because I don't even know what's happening. So this was just, they were at a beach. Everybody's at a beach, and then do we have the full video where like all these boats just show up?
There's a couple videos.
There's a couple of videos, but these are Moroccans.
Yeah.
And they land on the beach in Spain. And I guess they're going to flood through Spain, and then they're going to demand, like, asylum, and then they'll get some money. Yeah, let's watch this video just to get an idea of what's happening. This whole thing is very difficult for me to understand. I'm trying to, is there another video? Do they show up in boats? I guess they show up in boats, right? Because they're coming from the water.
I don't think it's necessarily boats. I think there's just...
What are they doing? Swimming?
I think they're walking over the coast.
Oh, it's a border.
Yes.
And they're walking over.
Yes, you can see.
Some of them look like they're swimming. What? Okay, so again, thousands of migrants crossing from Morocco into Spain. Morocco's not really a super poor country, right? I don't think it's a poor country. So I don't know what's going on, and I don't... And I guess there's theories that somehow this is Israel punishing Spain, but I don't even know how that would... Hundreds of migrants storm... And the people in Spain are accusing Israel of this.
Some Spanish politicians.
Hundreds of migrants stormed second Spain enclave as shots fired on border after 60,000 breached EU territory in 24 hours. 60,000 is a lot of people. That's a lot of people. The migrants made the dangerous passage from Morocco to the two European territories on Thursday as they swarmed the beaches by sea and land. Okay, so some did come by sea. Thousands. Well, by the way, okay, so I need to educate myself more on this before I really speak on it, this specific thing. But I will tell you this. This won't end. This is the dominant story for the vast majority of our adult lives, meaning like this migration will not go away. I don't, you can't say that Israel does every single thing in the world. They do a ton of things I disagree with. And I don't know what happened here. But what I will say is that the idea that people are going to come into Europe and demand to live there and demand money, and demand to have asylum, refugee status, whether that's valid or not, this is not going to end. A lot of people feel that this is the justifiable, reconquering of these lands because they were carved up by colonial powers years ago. that these were colonial powers and they carved up the Middle East and things like that. And now this is what you get for that. Of course, those people don't understand that there's many examples in history of barbarism of one group of people colonizing another, of one group of people enslaving another. This is not only Western colonial powers, this is the history of the world. But that's a lot less fun, and it's very messy and difficult, and it has a complexity to it that doesn't allow people to squeeze it into the kind of modern current narrative, which is that the only fault of the world is largely that white European colonial powers have subjugated, enslaved, dominated other races and other groups of people. But you can find examples of that all over the world. Muslims have taken slaves. Some countries still have slaves. There's barbarism on the continent of Africa. There's been barbarism between China and Japan. You could go back to the Ottoman Empire, to the Persians, it's whatever. You could go all over the world and find examples of all these different things. But this is, don't make no mistake, some people are kind of okay with this. Some people are kind of okay with it. They don't really care. They go, good for them. That's kind of the attitude when people like storm a country. People kind of go, good for them. They go, yeah, fuck it. Good for them. They're getting theirs. But of course, the world that comes from this is not a world anyone wants to live in. It's a world of violence. It's a world of surveillance. It's a world of chaos. Nobody wants to live in that, I guess, or people just don't care. They're mad that they can't afford a $400 melon, which no one should be eating because they suck. But apparently they will tolerate this level of chaos. They just don't care, and they go, good. So I'll figure out more. I mean, I don't know that I'll know, but I just, there's got to be some understanding here that this won't work. Here's my thesis. This won't work. It's not going to happen. You can't have thousands of people storming into countries that have existed for a long time. Their cultures are well established. The cultural norms are established. Their economies, many of them are stagnating, or at least they're in a state of flux. They're transforming. A lot of these countries don't have a manufacturing sector. They don't have an industrial base. A lot of these economies are, I wouldn't quite say failing. Some of them are certainly failing, but a lot of them are stagnating, and the middle classes of those countries are evaporating. And I'm speaking about our own, by the way, as well. And the idea that you can just ship people in from all over the world, or have these people basically show up and then go tell everyone that's concerned about it to shut up, is not going to work. This is not going to work. Running the world like this is not going to work. And the power structure that tells people that they can't have an opinion about this, or that they like. And listen, here's the thing. It's just going to be the scene of like migrants are going to be running through the streets, and there's just going to be people at a cafe, and they're gonna just have to they're gonna have to remember what good people they are when the migrants are running through the street. You're just gonna have to remember, if you get robbed, you're a good person, and this is good. You're just gonna have to ignore everything that happens. Ignore it, like the grooming scandal, grooming gang scandal, where all these young British girls are getting raped. They ignore it, You're letting a lot of military-age men into these countries. These are people that are of military age, and you're letting them into these countries to cause a lot of chaos. And again, this is by design. There's a reason it's happening. I don't exactly know. I mean, I talked about it on Rogan. I was pretty clear about it. It's clearly because there's lots of people that just look at these countries as economic zones and not actual countries, and they just don't care. So I don't know what to tell anybody here other than you're going to need to run the world a different way. Italy suspends Schengen with Spain. Am I pronouncing this right?
I think so.
Over Ceuta migrant crisis closes air and sea borders. I'm telling you, the term migrant crisis is going to be the term you hear the most. Italy's interior ministry has ordered the closure of the country's sea and air borders with Spain, temporarily suspending the Schengen free movement regime between the two countries because Italy and Spain had an arrangement where you could go freely between both of them. But they're basically saying now that's over. It's just not going to work. The third world is invading the first world, and a lot of people think that's cool. And I'm telling you right now, it's not going to work. It's not going to be a nice place to live. It's not going to be a nice place to live. It's not going to be nice. You might like it. People love the third world in theory. It sounds fun in theory. It's a cool thing that a bunch of people in Brooklyn, imagine as being like a really cool place with a lot of people that have been, and some of it's true. Listen, there's a lot of countries in the world that they have been fucked over, and I've talked about them, but there's also a lot of countries where they believe in witches, and they prosecute rape victims, not the perpetrators. They put the victim on trial. There's a lot of countries where women have no rights. Gay people have no rights. There is no freedom of speech. You can't criticize Islam in those countries. There is no freedom of protest. They'll mow you down. The cultural norms are completely different in those countries. Cleanliness standards are different. The way people behave in public is different. So this idea that you're just going to invite the third world to come party and it's a migrant summer, that's what they go, yeah, it's a migrant summer. Right now, Spain is having their migrant summer. That's what they're having. It's just, folks, it's not going to work. Call me racist. Call me anything you want. It's just not going to work. It's not going to work. It wouldn't work if you took people from Texas and told them they got to live in little boxes on top of each other in New York City. And they're living in the same country. But the cultures are just vastly different in many respects, politically, culturally, economically. So you're going to take people from Texas who live on acres of land and put them in little boxes in New York City. It won't work. They're going to go, that's not how we live. We don't live the way you guys live. And people in New York City go, I don't want to live in a 6,000 square foot house in Texas, and I don't want to be a rancher. And the brilliance of this country is that these things can exist, and one doesn't have to become the other. So the idea that it's just a bunch of migrants that are. Is there an interview with a migrant? I feel bad about that because it sounds like I'm saying Interview with a Vampire, the movie. Because they'll find a nice migrant. They got to find a nice migrant, right? Like a migrant who says the nice things. Is this guy interviewing a migrant? Okay. Is this a migrant? All right, let's see what's going on here.
Did you cross in from Morocco? Huh? Did you cross in from Morocco? Yeah. And you came in, so you're wet. You were wearing Did you swim? So they're telling us that they haven't eaten since they arrived yesterday.
What are they fleeing?
Here from Morocco. They're now saying that they're either trying to get food here or they may voluntarily return back to Morocco.
Oh, yeah, how about that? How about that?
A few people who have offered us money or asked to be taken back to the Moroccan border. Spanish authorities say that 25,000 migrants who have crossed into Ceuta have already crossed back into Morocco voluntarily.
This does seem like a weird thing. I will tell you this. This does seem completely, I will say that this doesn't seem organic. Right? Right? This has a weirdness to it that does not seem organic. I don't know who's behind it.
Yeah, it happened super quickly, kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah, this seems like it's an inorganic thing. I don't know what this is. But by the way, so this is going to be the weapon now that people use. They go, we're sending the migrants. We're sending the migrants. That's what I wanted to do last night at the, this liberal dinner. Lovely people, God bless them. But I wanted to go, here come the migrants. They're storming the beach. Because they live on the beach. I want to just send migrant boats to my really liberal friends in the Hamptons who have homes on the beach worth $50 million plus. I want boats of migrants to storm those beaches. Can I do it? Get me Adelson on the phone. We can do it. What do you like? You want boats to come on the beach with the people? We have all of the people for you. We put them on the boats. We send them on the beach. I want that. If this can be done, I didn't even know that this could be done. This is like a new thing. So if I can pack boats with migrants and send them to my friends' houses in the Hamptons while they're making these points about everybody being racist, I want the houses they live in surrounded by migrants. And I want them to be making these points, drinking wine, they're making a nice point, and they've got big, beautiful windows that look right out onto the horizon. And all of a sudden you see the boats and they come in and they're kind of like, they're not paying attention. Then all of a sudden they're paying more and more attention. And then you see the migrants just kind of crashing onto the shore and then surrounding the houses of my friends while they make these, but they go, America's so racist. I go, no, I know. Talk more about that. I think these people are hungry. Maybe you should invite them in. Perhaps. But that would be great. So anyone that can make that happen for me, I don't know how we do it. And again, I'm not trying to sound insensitive, but I do, if possible, would like 80 to 100 migrants, primarily North African. If you can get them to Sag Harbor by this Thursday, I have an event. And we'll put them out on boats. I mean, by the way, it sounds insensitive, but we'll pay them all for their time. 70 to 80, 80 to 100 migrants, Middle Eastern, North African in appearance, unimportant, whatever. And they'll be paid day rates, SAG day rates. We're not getting them into SAG. We just can't right now. Day rates, we take them right on the boats, and they crash land a dinner party in the Hamptons while someone's annoying me. Come on. Think of how much fun that would be. And I go, well, actually, and they make some point about immigration or refugees, and I go, actually, it's funny you say that. And then you just see the boats crash land on the shore, and people surround the house. I want to see if people in the Hamptons keep that energy while there's a invasion of their homes, which again will be completely inorganic, scripted by me. And at the end of it, because I'm going to have them surround the house and start chanting in a very threatening way, but not even things that make any sense, really. Like, just dumb shit. I'll just write a few like, oota, boota, boot, whatever, just real racist stuff. Oota, boot. And I go, I wonder what they're saying to my friends. And they're going to start to get nervous. And then they're just going to break into song. Because that would be fun, too. They just break into like, right as my friend's starting to get nervous because, this is private property. Should we call someone? I think we should call someone. This is private property. And then they're going to break from their chant, and you're going to see 80 to 100 North African, Middle Eastern appearance migrants. We can shove some Dominicans in there, too, in the back. But, Puerto Ricans or whatever. But we do need them, a lot of them to be Middle Eastern, North Africa. We just need that milieu. It needs to look, it's a production. It needs to look the way it is. And then right after, like in the middle of their chant, which is going to get increasingly violent, they're going to get increasingly violent. Some of them will dive in the pools, and I'll be sitting there at the dinner, and then so there's about 80 African, North African, Middle Eastern, whatever, migrants. Again, totally cast. Everyone's acting. Everyone's paid. There's a craft services table. Everyone's fine. Stunt coordinators. It's a production. It's fine. I'm not being any type of way. They storm the beach. I'm sitting in the Hamptons, and they storm the beach, and they're doing an increasingly violent chant. Maybe a kill the Boer, which is the South African thing, whatever. They can improvise. I think I like in a production to rely on people doing improv, but very threatening and stuff like that. And then in the middle, right as it gets really scary, and my friends kind of just get up from the table, they're going to start, the whole group of 80 North Africans start just going, bye, bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the... And then my friends are going to go, did you hire these people? And I'm going to go, guilty as charged. And then all of them will finish singing American Pie, and then we'll start singing American Pie. And I think, so if Israel or Adelson or whoever could find a way to do that, I would really love that. Enjoy the week, everyone.